Hey YouTube, it is Jess again with her second video. I want to start off by asking for your sincere forgiveness when it comes to falling behind on these videos. I know I've had a few subscribers and I promised to be consistent with these videos and I failed miserably with that. And I apologize. I'm really going to try and do a lot better, maybe not weekly because that's just not going to be feasible, but being a little bit more consistent is my goal. So this video is going to kind of focus on the summer semester and what took place there, and then I'll talk about the fall semester, which we just ended, or will just be ending next week. We made it through. So starting with summer, 2 classes. We had anatomy with the lab, and then we also had a radiographic aspect of that where we learned how to look at and read x-rays, which is really cool, really beneficial. It's cool to be able to kind of progress from just looking at an x-ray and seeing a big black blob with fuzzy white spots to actually being able to understand exactly what you're looking at and how to systematically go about analyzing film. So that was really exciting, really cool. Another part of anatomy was the cadaver lab. And so this part of the UF PA program is something that really drew me to this place. Versus any other PA program, primarily because we get our own cadavers, meaning that we don't get the leftovers from med students or dental students. We don't get body parts to examine and check out. We get a full cadaver, and so it's really cool to be able to work on one cadaver for the majority of the semester and systematically going through and looking at the body systems and identifying the different parts, and it really kind of helps to gel all of that you learned in summer and kind of bring it over to fall, which worked out really, really well. Another aspect of the summer is a class called Medical Communications, where you basically learn how to interact with patients. The PA profession prides itself in training clinicians who are clinically relevant and are really good at listening to patients, properly interacting with patients, and allowing the patient to become comfortable and trust the clinician, which is extremely important. And so that class really focuses on teaching you exactly how to do that, and it really begins to prepare you with the tools you need to properly take a complete history, which will carry over later on down the line in the fall semester, which I'll talk about a little bit later. A breakdown of the summer. For anatomy lab, you had 3 exams, and you had 3 lab exams and 3 lecture exams. The lecture exams were 85 multiple choice. The lab exams were 35 fill-ins. And so for me personally, lab was kind of nerve-wracking because you had literally 1 minute to identify the part of the body that a probe was stuck into and then move on to the next one. And so it's kind of like if you got a little nervous or a little disorientated, it was really difficult to kind of jump back in and move on to the next one. But overall, everyone in the program made it through summer semester, yay, and moved on to fall, which is most fresh in my mind, seeing as we haven't officially ended it yet. So you'll learn that fall is known as the semester from hell. And not to make excuses for myself, but this is one of the main reasons why I kind of failed at making consistent videos. Fall is, I would describe it as literally trying to drink from a fire hose. I know a lot of people have also described it that way, but that's the best analogy I can give. You're taking 17 credits. You're taking physiology, pharmacology, physical diagnosis, medicine, and then a class called BCM. And really being able to time manage was the key, because literally there's not enough time in the day to get everything done that you wanted to. I'm very much so a type A personality. I like to make lists. I like to check things off of my list. And if I don't check everything off of my list in a timely fashion, I kind of get really frustrated and really overwhelmed. And that's something that I had to learn to kind of deal with and really be okay with not getting everything done on my list in the time that I initially wanted to. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about each class and kind of giving you a little tidbit. So physiology is kind of all about learning how the body works, kind of self-explanatory. Some are focused about learning the parts of the body, physiology in the fall, how the parts of the body work and interact with one another. Pharmacology was challenging. We have to learn over 300 prototype drugs, mechanisms of action, what you're going to use the drugs for, and the contraindications. And yeah, so you could say that I've gone through hundreds of flashcards. Actually, give you guys an idea. These are flashcards for, I believe, one exam. So as you can see, tons and tons of flashcards to go through and memorize. So that was very time consuming. The next class was Introduction to Medicine, and this is basically where you have guest lecturers who are specialists in their fields come in and talk to you about the various body systems. So you kind of go through each body system within a week to a week and a half, so it's very accelerated. In my opinion, you feel like you're not really retaining as much information as you'd like to, but the program has been successful for many, many years, and I'm kind of just trying to keep my faith in the program. But Introduction to Medicine was by far the most time-consuming of all of the classes. And I'm very detail-oriented, so it was difficult for me to get comfortable with not knowing everything because there's just not enough time in the day, there's not enough time in the semester to understand and remember every detail of every lecture, of every part of medicine. And so to give you guys kind of an idea of some of the systems we went through HENT, we went through hematology, we went through oncology, urology and nephrology, cardio, pulm, GI, derm, endocrine, and so we have a week and a half, give or take, to go through those systems and then be quizzed and tested. So after you finish a section of medicine, you take an exam and you move on to the next. And so it's kind of that forward motion. The next class I'll talk about really briefly is PDX, Physical Diagnosis. Really fun class. You get to work in the Herald Center, which is a center here on campus that's kind of set up like a doctor's office. So it gives you the doctor's feel, it gives you the opportunity to really interact with the patient, most likely your classmate, learning how to go through the physical exam head to toe. So learning how to do a complete HENT exam, learning how to do a complete pulmonology exam, cardio exam, abdominal exam, etc., etc. And so it's your first real interaction with a patient, quote unquote, because you're actually doing hands-on activities versus sitting in a classroom learning about the content. You get to finally put your knowledge to work. Really exciting. PDX, actually, we have a PDX practicum coming up later on in this week, and it is our basically end of the semester shebang where you put everything you've learned throughout the semester together and you're proctored and then you're graded based on your ability to systematically go through the different body systems. You're graded on technique, how you interact with the patient, and your professionalism. So it's basically the way that the PA program assesses how well they did at educating us and teaching us about the various aspects of the physical exam. And then the last class that we had this semester is BCM, which is a class known as Behavioral Community Medicine. And basically it's all about learning all of the aspects of healthcare and the healthcare system that don't quite fit into like a physio class or a medicine class. And so you learn about the healthcare system, you learn about how to handle grieving family members when they've lost a loved one. And so it's kind of a mix and a mash of a lot of different aspects of medicine that really don't fit into a clear-cut box. So that's kind of a relaxed class, no exams or anything. Overall, this is an approximate, so don't quote me on this, but this semester we had 30 exams. That doesn't include quizzes or other outside assignments. So to give you an idea, 30 exams spread out over the course of those 4 classes because, like I said, BCM didn't have any exams. And so the majority of those exams and the majority of stress that you or myself and my classmates experienced was in the month of October, which is appropriately nicknamed Sucktober, because you literally just keep your head down and keep trugging away. I remember having a conversation with my mom, and she was like, "Do you even know what day it is?" And I'm like, "I actually don't, because I base the days of the week on the exams I know that are coming up. So don't ask me if it's Monday, because I won't know. I won't know the answer. But if you ask me, when's your next test? I will let you know that the next test is tomorrow, and then I have another one on Friday, and then I have another one on Monday." And it's kind of what I use as my guide to where I was in the program or in the semester. Yes, another thing I wanted to kind of give you guys a little tidbit on is the mentor-mentee program, which is really cool. So each first year, like myself, is paired up with a second-year mentor, and it just gives you the opportunity to stay in contact and in communication with someone who's gone through this before, who can give you some tips, some advice, just give you a little bit of encouragement when you need it. And so it's really cool to be able to talk to someone who's gone through this before, cry to them, vent to them, meet up for coffee, and try and understand the various murmurs that have to do with the aortic area. It's just great to be able to talk to someone who knows what you're going through. You have something also really cool called the Equal Access Clinic, and basically it's where the PA students, med students, pharm students can go out into the community and sharpen their skills while serving the community. And people who don't have health care insurance or are unable to see a primary care physician for whatever reason come out to these clinics. They get free health care, and we as students get the opportunity to see these patients and sharpen our skills underneath the supervision of an overseeing doctor. And so it's really cool to be able to implement a lot of the stuff you learned in class outside in the clinic. And so that's something else that is really beneficial. I continue to learn new things every time I'm at the clinic. Sometimes I'm really tired and I'm contemplating whether I should go or not. And literally every time I've gone, I've never been disappointed. And so I'm really looking forward to doing that more next semester. So as of now, I am preparing mentally for the spring semester, which I will try, don't quote me on this, but I'm going to try my very, very best to get another video out for you guys prior to the beginning of the spring semester to give you a little bit more information about what that semester looks like. So, once again, thank you so much for your patience. For those of you who have been watching this video, or my videos, with the hopes of seeing more and being royally disappointed, again, my sincerest apologies. For those of you who are looking at applying to UF PA program, do it. For those of you who have applied and who are interviewing, you're going to do great. Be yourself, be relaxed, and just show them what you got. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, random tidbits of information, leave a comment at the bottom. All right, bye.